So here, as we go into the minors, you will notice that they do not have the same like completely gold background like you saw in the majors. You'll see that again when we get to the court cards. But it gives a really cool, very clean, crisp look, doesn't it? That's an ace, obviously, so it doesn't have the title of the card on it. None of the aces do. But one of the things, let me zoom in here. Look at the little gnomes. One of the cool things, though, that you'll see especially in the, really just in the suit of wands here, though, is of course he's made the connection that in classic cartomancy, the suit of wands is also the suit of clubs. So you'll see these really cool clovers, or what else are they called? Like trefoils or something like that, are on a number of the wands cards here in the minor arcana. Look at that Two of Wands. He's really gone with more of their like Atella meanings, like I said before. So some of the cards will definitely feel, you know, maybe a little bit foreign, but a lot of them will feel very, very familiar to you. Like, look at that one. Look at that Four of Wands. He's actually done something uber Atella with the suit of coins. It's really cool. Well, I'll show you when we get to it. But Atella had associations for each of his coin cards, 1 through 10, where it's something like the first 7 are each associated with a planet, and then the last 3 are called like the head of the dragon, I think the tail of the dragon, the part of the dragon, something like that, and those last 3 just have to do with the ecliptic, or the plane where the moon rises and the moon sets, and things like that. But he's made clear references, Scapini has here in his suit of coins, to each one of those associations that Atella had. It's really, really cool. I'll show you when we get there. Let me zoom in on this guy so you can see. Aren't they just gorgeous? Silly, funny. I could talk about each one of these cards all day, but I don't want to keep you here literally all day. This is one of my favorites. Look at the rainbow of colors going up through the Nine of Wands. Isn't that amazing? Look at all the different kinds of people. Warriors, monks, winos. And then in your Ten of Wands, I think this one really gets at that Atella cartomantic idea of betrayal with this card. Look at this. There's like, oh, let me zoom out. Sorry. There's all these little like bandit kind of guys hiding out behind trees and what is that? Grass and bushes up in trees there, as these travelers on mules carrying supplies, maybe gold, come down the path, ready to be burgled, I guess, or betrayed. Isn't that great? Like, they look like illustrations right out of a magical little storybook, and they really tell a story. Like, it's really a scene taking place. So good. And here we go into our first set of court cards. This is the Page of Wands here, and you see you have your gold background again. Isn't he gorgeous? Let me zoom in. It is pages, knights, kings, and queens, by the way. Very traditional. Look, he's wearing the pelt of a lion. He's got this flower like hanging over his face, maybe at his third eye. He is a dark stranger, so you get this Atella description. And he even seems to really follow Papist court cards way of doing things, where it is very much associated with the Tetragrammaton. So this would be your second second he, I always butcher the pronunciation, sorry guys. The second he of Yod. So it's like earth of fire, just like we're sort of used to, right? You can even see, I think there is a bit of a reference to it here, the way his hand is clasped over the wand here. It's forming the letter he. And yeah, it just really follows Papist and Atella court card descriptions. It's wonderful. Here is your Knight of Wands. Isn't he very barbaric looking? I love his thin, long horse and his thin, long body. gorgeous. Here's your Queen of Wands. There are some sort of kitty cat references going on here too. I mean, she's on like a giant lion down there. There's a kitty cat in her lap. You have the classic sunflowers like you see on the Rider-Waite-Smith. She's even got paws on the ends of her throne there, and her fiery crown. She's cool, right? And then here in your King of Wands, you have what looks to me, he looks almost Nordic, doesn't he? He looks like a northern stylized gentleman. I feel like he's done that for the whole of the suit of wands, or the court cards especially. Like, they're supposed to be this very country-like, people associated with work with the suit of wands. And I think that he illustrates it really, really well. You can see this sort of country scene depiction in the background there. And of course, the King of Wands would be your Yod of Yod. Right? Good. And here is our Ace of Coins. Like I said, none of the aces have anything written on it. But aren't they phenomenally beautiful cards? Let me zoom in on this one. I don't know if you can make out all the detail. Look at the fountain here. So up at the top here you have a dove, right? And there's sort of these droplets, probably of blood dripping from the dove's beak. You have a happy and a sad face mask statue on the top of the fountain, and a woman nursing two children at her breast. As you follow this sort of cornucopia-like shape down, you even see a big red heart right here. It's the suit of cups, the suit of hearts. And then when you get down to the bottom here, you have a beautiful like seashell. There's a pearl in the center, and you have this kitty cat, mama kitty cat down here nursing three kittens. And check out the colors of those cats too, guys. Black, red, and white. Oh! Just go. Alchemical. What? So good. But yeah, there's all this love, this joy, this charity, this that's being expressed in this simple image of a fountain. There's so much to go off of there. And then your Two of Cups. I adore this card too. Check it out. Very classic looking here, especially with the caduceus winding its way up. This one is actually the tail of a lion winding its way up the other cup. The happy couple, and then you have two different scenes, sort of almost the reversal of the card depicted on the cups up here. In this one, she's crying and leaving him, and in this one, I'm not sure what's going on there actually. It's like a pan, sort of a symbol chasing lustfully after the woman. Two of Cups, all different depictions of love. Here you see abundance and success in the Three of Cups. And this card I find so interesting. I feel like there's a certain amount of difficulty in this card, in this Four of Cups card. All these sea monsters and all the different hard, kind of tough scenes that are being depicted in each of the cups. Like he's in a desert, trapped in a desert or something, and there's something different going on each one. So actually, real quick, before I forget, I did want to throw out the names of a few of the other Luigi Scapini decks that I think are really, really interesting. Sorry, I'm gonna keep flipping through the cards here. And check out that Seven of Cups, by the way. Oh, it's so good. Each cup is so different. Isn't that beautiful? So well done, mixing that modern and that old again. Okay, but like I said, he did the Visconti Tarots for US Games. He filled in or recreated the missing cards. Most recently, he's done the, I love how Greek that card is, so good. Most recently, though, he's done the Medieval Scapini Tarot, or excuse me, it's called the Kabbalistic Visions Tarot, and he did all the art for that deck. That one is actually a Schiffer deck. Most of the decks I'm going to mention now, though, are all published by Del Negro, actually. But so he's also done the Shakespeare Tarot, or also known as the Romeo and Juliet Tarot, which is really done in a similar way to this deck. The illustrations look really similar. It's really a beautiful deck and is so on my wish list. Oh, this is actually supposed to be Rasputin on the Knight of Cups here too. Rasputin himself. Isn't that great? He's also done the Lucumi Tarot, which is like a Santeria based or themed deck. He's got the, how fucking funny is this card? She's like half Aphrodite, have none, hilarious. Oh my god, so wrong. Good Queen of Cups, right? He's also got the Bacchus Tarot, like this wine themed deck that is gorgeous. He's done the Stained Glass Tarot. Now that deck I believe does not have illustrated minors. He's also done some Sibylla decks that I think are truly, truly gorgeous. He did the Sibylla 800, and also this one called La Magica Sibylla, which is like totally on my wish list. It's incredible looking. Check out this Ace of Swords, by the way. It was done by Luigi Scapini and Giulia Scapini. And it's an amazing, gorgeous looking Sibylla deck. That one and a bunch of the ones I did just mention, I believe, are available on Alita store, raretarots.com, Alita Tarot, something like that. Check it out. Here's your Two of Swords. I love what is going on in this card. If you look at their their helmets or their hats, they have and the hilts of their swords too. There's foxes on this guy and like serpents or snakes on this one, and it's really cool. It's like cooperation and conflict all in one. You know, they're shaking hands, but they have these sort of sly looks on their faces. Is this really good? Is it bad? Yeah, it's a wonderful Two of Swords. Oh, this one is friggin' fantastic. Check this out. One of my favorite cards of all time. First of all, it's Three of Swords. Check that out. That is a Three of Swords, guys. So while it looks absolutely nothing like your typical Three of Swords, where you'd normally see a heart pierced by three swords, right? There is an incredibly appropriate scene taking place here. So you have this guy, this youth, this young man right here, leaving behind maybe the safety and the security of the rest of his family, and they look rather annoyed. They're not very happy. It talks about in the book how he's probably setting out in search of fame and fortune. Basically, there's like a naked woman on his bag, and he's got lots of money in his backpack. His what is that? The hilt of his walking stick, I guess it is here, has a skull on it. Not a good sign. The feather in his cap forms a question mark. It's this idea of sorrow and separation. You have the funny little angry pig over here foraging for food. What this guy's gonna have to do, leaving behind the security and the stability, you know. And then the best part of this card, you'll see this in a lot of the swords actually. There's really cool things on all the hilts of the sword, but take a real close look here at those three hilts. Do they look familiar? Each one is a different fool. Here you have the Fool from the Tarot de Marseille. Here you have a Visconti Sforza Fool, and this one is a Mantegna Tarot Fool. Isn't that nuts? So good. And this is why we love Luigi Scapini. Isn't that a great depiction of the Four of Swords? You have this idea of retreat, this idea of loneliness. Here's your Five of Swords. This is another one of my favorites. Check this guy out. He's like smoking a hookah. He's smoking some opium, probably. Isn't that good? And then even up here, there's like a whole nother scene sort of taking place in the sword hilts again. You have this mermaid Melusina figure sort of surrounded by what looks like classic vampires, right? And monsters. You guys, you could spend so much time just looking into every little corner of these cards and finding all sorts of different, cool, unique things going on. Here's your Seven of Swords, and you have the image of an alchemist transmuting his base metals into gold. You have the raven, you have friggin' everything. And on the hilts of all the swords here are like these harpy figures. Here's your Eight of Swords. That one looks very familiar, very Rider-Waite-Smith-like, right? And here's your Nine of Swords. And in the Nine of Swords here on the hilts, you actually have these shrouded figures in quiet prayer. And then the Ten of Swords is really neat too, actually. Well, check out what's going on in the hilts there. Those are supposed to be like each of the betrayers, or the men who like assassinated Julius Caesar, holding up their bloody daggers. And then the way the swords are arranged, it looks like, you know, a spider's web with a bug trapped in the middle. Lord of the Flies kind of thing. And then the women down here are in mourning. They're crying. And on into our court cards here. Check out this Page of Swords. He'd be the second Hay of Vow. And he's cool. Attila calls the Page of Swords here like a spy kind of a figure. You know, deceptive, elusive. And I love how the hilt of his sword is actually like the head of a fox. And there's a snake there also, and this sort of sneaky kitty. And just this sort of strange expression on his face that is intriguing, you know? What's he up to? You like that. And then your Knight of Swords, a very classic knight. This is Attila's soldier here, so it works really good, right? And this is your Vow of Vow. Here is your Queen of Swords, the first Hay of Vow here. Attila associates this with like widowhood, so you even see at the bottom here like a hearse being pulled and mourners coming out. There's even witches flying. She's got a swan here too, like we said before, right? That initiation into the mysteries, knowledge of death and magic. It's really quite a beautiful card. And then here is your King of Swords. We zoom in on him a bit. Wow. Look at the beautiful, like, what was that, dogwood flowers? Love that here. He's even got spades. Can you see that? This is the suit of swords, so he's got spades sprouting from the top of his crown there. These great little references to classic cartomancy all throughout, and the suit associations. I just love that. And Attila calls him like a man of law, or a man of the law, and he is your Yacht of Vow. Alright guys, on into our last beautiful suit. Here is your Ace of Pentacles. Actually, they're called coins in this deck. Coins. Let me zoom in on this guy for you. Isn't that beautiful? But take a look at what is going on in the giant coin up here. It's like this depiction of a utopia, or this golden age. It's like they're even in the Garden of the Hesperides with the orange trees. There's lots of happy dancing naked people and couples. There's even can you see that over there? There's even a lion laying down with a lamb. Ah, gorgeous. And then actually, I started mentioning this before, how Attila in his cup suit, right? He has these different planetary associations for each card. So this one would be the sun, and you can see all these like solar images up there. And then for the Two of Coins, the association is Mercury. Check out what's going on in that card right there. Very mercurial with his caduceus. And then down here you have the other coin, which has books filled with different sciences and occult studies, the Bible, all sorts of things. And then the rest of the image, I believe, is supposed to be making reference to some sort of a medieval painting. It's like Susanna and the elders. Basically, they're about to, I don't know, attack her or something. They're plotting. The card is all about difficulty. And then the three of coins would be associated with Venus, and you have a beautiful Venus symbol right at the very top there. The second coin says Caesar, and the third coin is like someone dancing, the drum or a tambourine. You can see that. And then the beautiful statue next to the coins is supposed to be Leonardo da Vinci himself. And then the four of coins is associated, Attila-wise anyway, with the moon. So you have, actually you have several lunar sort of things going on in the coins here. They look to be like a lot of Artemisian or Diana sort of references here too. The caged cat. But in the center here you have a nun opening a present. Like a flying nun. And then Attila with this card, it's all about like a gift. And then here is your five of coins. This has those Martian associations, or Attila associates it with Mars. And here you can see this couple being overtaken by their senses, basically. And then the Attila version is just lovers in general. They're being sort of swept away. And you can see all these images of like destruction and war and things being sort of destroyed almost here in the different coins. And then here in the six of coins, I really love this card too, guys. It's really cool. You see like the material success or failure. You see the present moment. This is the card associated with Jupiter by Attila. Right here you see Jupiter himself riding in his chariot. And then all the other coins you see, this one's very familiar, right? That's like someone begging and someone handing out coinage, very much like you see on the Rider-Waite-Smith card. You see a thief, you see a rose, you see a rich fool and a poor fool down at the bottom. All the different manifestations of wealth, you could say, material success or failure. And then here in the seven of coins, when did I talk about this card? Oh, when we reviewed Terror of the Holy Light, I think I whipped this card out. I thought it was so cool. But it, of course, shows a scene of gambling for money. But this is the card that Attila associates with Saturn, and that's what you see on the central coin there. And then in all the other coins, you see this growth over here and different ways of representing security over here, sleeping cozy in a bed and a treasure-filled chest. But all the guys here around the gambling table, they are gambling with cards that are very clearly Tarot de Marseille cards. How cool is that? And then here is the amazing eight of coins. If you take a step back and look too, this is actually a very classic Rider-Waite-Smith-like card, right? He's apprenticing, he's a craftsman, he's creating, he's working on his art, on his craft. He's busy making stuff. Now, actually, if you take a good close look at each one of these coins here, or little works of art, oh, it's hard to see. Focus. Anyway, this one is actually the World card, and it is, each one of these are attached to a little planetary symbol right below it. And these are all the actual Levi Pappas type associations, astrologic associations. So there's the World card with the sun, and then you have the Judgment card right there. It's actually the Judgment card from this deck. You can see it with, what is that, Saturn? And then you have the Star with Mercury. Focus. And then down there you have Force with, what is that, with Mars. And over here you have the Emperor with Jupiter, the Empress with Venus, you have the Popus with the Moon, and then up here he's working on the Magician card. Now that is actually like a self-portrait of Luigi Scapini painting the Magician card. and that's supposed to be a depiction of his wife and daughter sitting down there at the bottom, which is kind of cool actually, because you get the whole Atella's dark-haired girl for this coin here, for this card here too. I like it. Now, continuing with Atella's associations for these cards too, this is where you come to the tail of the dragon, like how we talked about it has to do with the moon, basically, the path of the ecliptic. But here you have all these little symbols, coins with tails attached to them, and Decker says that, you know, that's his way of making reference to the tail of the dragon, even the tail of the cat right there. I thought that was cute. And then here on your 9 of coins, let me zoom in on this guy. On each and every one of the coins, you see like a skull of an animal, of a bull probably, it looks like to me. Does she look, ooh, get back there. Does she look familiar, guys? That's like the happy lady in the garden holding a bird from the Rider-Waite-Smith card. He is literally pulled from every amazing, famous historical tarot deck to create this deck. It's absolutely amazing. But yeah, so this is the head of the dragon. You have a head on each and every card, and you have this idea of, you know, walking the path and getting results and material gain. It's a lovely card. Look at the happy Cinderella castle. 10 of coins. And then for the amazing 10 of coins here, Atella associates it with, I messed up the name before, it's the part of fortune is what it's called. You'll be familiar with it if you do astrology readings and how you determine this point and all that. It's really interesting. But I think the idea of the castle and the family tree here works quite well. The house and the wealth of it all. It's good. And on into our last court cards here is the Page of Coins with his insane hat. Don't you just love it? And he is, of course, representing the second hay of the second hay, or Earth of Earth. And look at all the earthly scenes going on behind him. And here is your Knight of Coins with the butt shot of the horse. I just love that angle, though. You find that in some old decks. It's so humorous to me. And he, let me zoom in here, is actually confronting the Great Wall of China. Can you see that? There it is. And he is, of course, the vow of the second hay. And here is our glorious Queen of Wands. So sultry-like. I love her. And this up here is looks like a representation of charity, kind of just like we saw on the top of the fountain in the Ace of Coins, the woman nursing the 2 children to her breast. It's a classic way of depicting charity, the virtue, and I really love that he's done that. He's just incorporated the water of earth, the Queen of Coins. You know, the first hay of the second hay. Our two feminine suits, our 2 feminine elements. And then here in the King of Coins, of course, you have your Yod of the second hay, or your Fire of Earth. There we go, spit it out. You have your cultivated farming fields in the back there. Apparently for all the court cards, he went with this Venetian-looking people and Venetian scenes. Venice probably having to do with all the commerce that it's famous for. But yeah, that's our King of Coins. That's our last card. We are back to our amazing Fool here, who is actually numbered 0, by the way, here. So really, I cannot recommend this deck highly enough. First of all, it reads like a friggin' dream. There's so much to draw from intuitively, and the images are bright and colorful, and things will jump out at you. And it's also just a really fun tour of tarot history and of medieval thought and all sorts of mystery school traditions and Kabbalah and alchemy and astrology. And all the reasons why we love tarot so very much. They are all in this amazing deck. It does shuffle wonderfully, the version that I have anyway. I've never heard too many bad things about the more glossier finished cards. Sometimes they stick together a little bit. I'll let you guys do your own research though. Like I said, I will post those links to the discussions about the different editions that I found on Aeclectic Tarot down below. You guys can check that out. Let me do a quick size comparison. Here I have a standard Centennial Rider-Waite-Smith card, and you can see it's just a bit smaller. It's a good, what is that, like at least a ½ inch taller and just a hair wider than Medieval Scapini is. But it's actually got kind of a similar thickness. The Medieval Scapini is a bit thinner, not quite as thick as the Centennial, but the finish feels very similar. It's about as reflective, except for when you get that gold ink that they used for the Medieval Scapini. That gives it an oomph that I just love. All right, guys, I am going to wrap things up there. This is the book, Art and Arcana, a commentary on the Medieval Scapini Tarot by Ronald Decker, and that is the Medieval Scapini Tarot by Luigi Scapini. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.